My 20s kicked my In my early to mid 20s, my life was kind of a hot mess. You're young, you're going to college, you feel like you're supposed to have everything figured out. I had never felt more lost in my life. I changed my major, I think, 3 times. Literally within a week after I graduated, I applied to another program and went back to school in Boston. I broke up with my boyfriend, who is now my husband, by the way. I begged for him back, which obviously worked. I started experiencing panic attacks for the first time in my life. I developed extreme health anxiety because of all of that, and my eating disorder that I had since I was about 15 years old was literally at its all-time worst. Then we kind of moved into our late 20s. Things started to get a little bit better. I had things a little more figured out, but I'm still really struggling to find my purpose and feel like I'm living up to my full potential. One thing that I really struggled with was feeling very isolated and alone because I moved away from like all of my friends from my hometown, my friends from college, and honestly lost touch with a lot of them. And you don't really realize how much that affects you until you're in that moment and you feel just super alone and like you have no friends and that you're a loner. And I am very comfortable being alone, but I'm also now in a season of life where I kind of feel a little bit behind. I feel like I should have more money saved. I should have a house by now. I should be starting a family already. And there's all these pressures of like what I should be doing because I'm 29 years old. I also know that life looks different for everyone and everyone moves at their own pace and things happen at certain times for different people. I've come to peace with a lot of these struggles, at least lately, but I have 9 months until I turn 30 and I'm making it my mission to level up in every area of my life. My mindset, my finances, health, relationships, and career. I'm gonna set goals, I'm gonna make changes, and I'm gonna keep myself accountable. I don't think I'll go too much into my goals because I go over my goals in a lot of my videos. I do them in my monthly resets. Today's video, I'm going to specifically talk about the steps that I'm gonna take to make those changes and just overall be the best version of myself going into my 30s. I actually have a whole video about turning 30. I will link it up above about my 30 before 30 list, and I made that when I turned 29, so I still am working on all of those things as well. But in that video, I kind of go into how I'm feeling about like being in my late 20s and turning 30 this year. I'm not that scared about going into my 30s because if you didn't just hear everything, that my 20s were not the greatest. I'm not afraid of like going into my 30s. I genuinely think it's gonna be better than my 20s for me personally. I know maybe that isn't the case for everyone, but I'm just really ready for those next steps in my life. I think it's only gonna get better for me. Anyway, you can check out that video if you do want to hear any more of my thoughts on getting older. I was actually super surprised when I did the little poll on my community post. I wasn't thinking that so many of you would want to see this video, and almost 50% of people voted that they wanted to see this video. Basically, I decided to make it kind of a little series because I wanted to do a challenge that goes along with it. So I figured I would do 4 weeks of a challenge and film all 4 weeks for you guys to take you along on this process of leveling up. But we'll get into what the challenge is in a little bit. First thing I want to share with you guys is what I'm calling my level up checklist, which I can't take credit for the name. I'm currently obsessed with Michaela Witter, and she kind of has a whole series like this on her channel as well. Every month she has a level up checklist, and I love that idea. And the reason I'm titling this Leveling Up Before I Turn 30 is because the definition of leveling up is actually really nice, and I think really encompasses like why I'm doing this. So I'm gonna read that to you guys real quick. Leveling up in life means to intentionally improve yourself by actively pursuing personal growth, acquiring new skills, setting goals, overcoming challenges, and working towards becoming a better version of yourself in various aspects of your life like career, relationships, health, and personal development. Couldn't be said any better, honestly. That's why we're embracing this leveling up vibe. So the first thing I'm going to show you is the actual checklist. This is basically the overview of things that I kind of want to focus on or get done in the next 9 months. before I turn 30. And then I specifically have a few things that I'm going to be doing in the next 4 weeks, which is what the challenge is and what I'm going to be filming for you guys. So first things first, we'll go over the bigger main focus points. The first thing that I want to do is go through my closet and establish my capsule wardrobe, as they call it, because I have so many clothes in my closet and I don't wear half of them. I really don't. And every time I go through my closet, I make like excuses, I feel like, in my head on why I should keep certain things. You know, either one, maybe I'll fit into it again, or two, like it has some kind of like sentimental value, but like not really because it's a piece of clothing. I just can't seem to get rid of certain things. I know that I need to, and only purchase things that are going to further improve my closet and again be like capsule wardrobe items, things that are gonna be worn time and time again. That's one focus. I don't know when I'm gonna get to that because that is a large task, but it will happen. One of the next things on my list, and this is not really in any kind of order, by the way, is I want to have a dermatologist appointment, which I did get a referral from my doctor, so that is in the works. There's no appointment yet, and it probably is going to take a few months to get in there. Really, the whole point of that is I have never really gone and like had someone really look at my skin and see like what the problem is. I don't generally have like bad skin or like a lot of acne, but I do have some, and I have had like weird skin issues in the past. I really would just like to have like a professional input on my skin. Again, that probably won't happen soon. The next thing is to keep up with my maintenance appointments, which for me is really only my nails, and I'm putting Botox on here because that is something that makes me feel more confident and beautiful. I'm not gonna lie, like I know that seems silly because it really doesn't change much about how you look. Like where I'm getting it really doesn't change much about my physical appearance, but for me it definitely makes me feel a little more confident. The nails on here really, like, it doesn't even really need to be on here because I get my nails done once a month. Things like that just help make me feel more put together, more with it. Like I said, more confident, more girly. Overall, bring up the vibes, bring up my happiness. I feel like every girl has their things. Like some girls, it's their hair appointment. Some get their eyelashes done every few weeks, eyebrows, like all those things. These are the two that are like important to me, I guess. I stand by plastic surgery or fixing things that bother you as a person because you live in this body. Well, you live in your body. You're the only one living in your body. I'm living in my body. I have to wake up every day, look at myself, go around as this person. So if there's something that bothers me, I should fix it to feel better about myself. If I can get Botox and help prevent those lines from getting any thicker, any deeper, then I'm gonna do it. Next thing is I want to establish a regular exercise routine. Basically what I feel like for me is gonna work is 3 times a week. One Pilates class, because I have been doing Pilates for a few months, and I have a package where I can do pretty much 1 class a week, and that's about all I really want to do for Pilates anyway. Like I do like it. Like I don't know if going more than once a week would be sustainable for me. I'd probably start to like hate it. But I do enjoy going like once a week. It's kind of a nice little treat to go do something different, workout, but have it be a class because I do like class workouts. The other part that I actually need to do is the other 2 workouts. Because I always do the Pilates class because 1, I pay a lot to go, and 2, you sign up for the class so far in advance. Pretty sure there's a cancellation fee, so I'm gonna go. On the other days, doing a workout on my own, I don't have the determination, the motivation, the willpower, like I don't. One thing that I have found that I do actually really enjoy is workouts, and I particularly like YouTube videos by MadFit. I have been liking those. I do have a gym membership. It is nice, just it's intimidating a little bit, and it's more the act of getting myself there is the hard part. Once I'm there, I know what I'm doing. I have knowledge of like how to lift properly and what exercises to do and how to make like a workout, but it's really just getting there. And even on the days that I've been off, it's like there's no reason I shouldn't be going to the gym. It's more about wanting to do other things with my time, which that's fine, but I'm saying to myself through this challenge that I want my priority to be making time to work out. So that's what I'm committing to. And then I also want to do 2 to 3 walks a week. 2 to 3 like 30-minute walks. 30 minutes is really not that long. I'm using my walking pad. I literally have a TV, I have my monitor, I can put something on, watch a show, boom, done, 30 minutes. Next on the list is to just overall kind of eat better, eat healthier, and like a little bit more healthier meals, more whole foods, more protein. Subsection of that is to stick to a calorie deficit, as my main goal right now is weight loss and fat loss. I know that one of the only ways to really do that is to be in a calorie deficit and track my calories, so we're gonna be doing that. And then the last bullet point that kind of goes along with, you know, if I do regular exercise and eat healthier meals, I should accomplish this next goal, which is to lose 20 pounds in the next 9 months, which I do feel like is pretty realistic. And under that, I have the 30-day Kickstart challenge, which is what we're gonna talk about next and what my next few videos are going to be. I also want to side note mention that I have recently started taking semaglutide, which I'm sure you've probably heard of it, like all over the place. It's a GLP-1 medication for weight loss, helps people with PCOS, insulin resistance, things like that. So I wanted to side note mention that because obviously, you know, I'm gonna be taking you guys through the next 4 weeks, and one of those things that I'm gonna be tracking is my weight loss. I wanna be transparent about what I'm doing because it would not be cool of me to like document all this and be like, I lost 10 pounds and like not mention that I'm also on a medication that helps with weight loss. So just throwing that out there. I am testing that out, seeing how it goes. I guess I'll do a little update. I did take my second shot yesterday. I'm feeling fine. I'm feeling pretty good overall. I haven't lost any weight yet, but I am also starting at a very low dose compared to like what other people typically start at, just because I was worried about the side effects with my job being one that I have to be on my feet all the time and my hour commute, so I didn't want to feel sick or have stomach issues in any of those situations. So I just wanted to mention that. Might do a separate video just on that topic at some point. All right, let's move into the 30-day challenge. I picked 30-day Kickstart challenge because all over the internet you see the 75 hard challenge, and that's great. I've tried that a few times. I don't make it very far because 75 days seems so long for me. That is a long time. So I chose 30 days because that seems realistic to me in my life. It still seems like a challenge, but also doable, achievable. You know what I mean? So here are my daily rules for this challenge. I want to do 30 minutes of exercise every single day, and that can be whatever. That can be a walk, that could be yoga, just 30 minutes of extra movement than like I normally get during the day. And under that I want to reach at least 8 to 10,000 steps a day. I was gonna put 10,000, like that's typically my goal when I do challenges like this, but I barely ever reach that goal. If I go out of my way to do an extra walk, I can reach that goal, but on a typical day, I can't reach that goal. And so I wanted to give myself a range because 8,000 seems more realistic on days that I don't work or the weekends where I can at least go out of my way to walk a little bit more, but not have to feel the stress of trying to reach 10,000 steps. I didn't want to box myself into like having to be at 10,000 every day. I just wanted to give myself a little more of a leeway there on days that maybe I'm not getting as much movement. I also want to make sure I get 64 ounces of water. I'm not the kind of person who likes to drink really much more than that. Like I know some people like to do a gallon. I physically can't do that. 64 is like the minimum that I want to hit. My next daily goal is to hit 115 grams of protein every day because some of these goals are related back to me being on semaglutide, because you want to make sure you're getting enough protein and water. Those are like two huge like non-negotiables when you're on a medication like this, because if you don't, you are going to feel horrible. And going along with that is making sure that I'm in a calorie deficit. So I am going to track my calories, I think, for 30 days because I need to make sure I'm hitting that protein goal, and I want to make sure I am for sure staying in a calorie deficit, because it's easy to think you're in a calorie deficit if you're not tracking and then realize that you really haven't been, because I don't feel like I eat like a ton during the day, but it's the little things that add up really quickly. And so I want to try to focus on having more like high volume foods that I can eat more, but it's less calories versus like higher density foods, if that makes sense. I am going to be tracking, making sure every day I stay in a calorie deficit, which for me is under 1900 calories. So it's not even that big of a calorie deficit. Like, I'm giving myself a decent range. I know myself. I don't want to like cut down my calories by an insane amount and be miserable. I need to do this slowly and be able to maintain this long term. I'm also going to read every day, and that can be whatever. It doesn't have to be anything specific. I love reading, you guys know this. So it'll probably mainly be fiction books, romance books, thriller books. I pretty much do this every day now. There is occasionally days that like I either stay up too late, like I'm too tired to read, so I want to make it a purpose at least to be mindful and make the time. Realize like, okay, I only have an hour left before I like want to go to sleep. I should finish up whatever I'm doing. If I'm working on something for social media, whatever, finish that up, make sure I'm giving myself time to read. I'm not giving myself any kind of like structure on that, like no amount of pages or like time or whatever, because usually once I start reading, I at least read like a chapter or two. Next is to do my skincare. These also obviously all kind of relate to some of the main things that I'm mentioning in my level up checklist. I want to do my skincare because I really want to take care of my skin. I just know that I need to do like the bare minimum, like wash my face, keep it hydrated. Those are the two main things that I want to do. I do kind of want to try some Korean skincare. So if anyone actually has any recommendations for Korean skincare, please leave them down below, because I would love to try that actually. Or if anyone has anything that can help with lines on your neck, also leave that down below. Please and thank you. The next thing that's on my daily list is to post a TikTok every day. I don't have anything in the main goals about career, I guess, and I don't really have any career goals for like my job. If you don't know, I work part-time as a radiation therapist, so I work in healthcare. I've already kind of been like, I took a step back and went part-time. Like, I don't see myself wanting to grow in that career. I like it. I like what I do. I help people, and that's amazing, but the more you grow in that field, the more like responsibility you have, the more hours you have to put in and like be available at all times for like any crisis or whatever. Like, I've seen it. I don't want that. What career I do want to grow in is my social media career. So one of the things that I want to focus on is TikTok and making sure that I'm posting consistently on there. There are some times where I even have a video that might be ready, like I just need to do a voiceover, but for some reason like time got away from me, like I didn't want to do it. I need to just make sure that I'm doing it, you know, like I'm following through and I'm doing it. So I'm putting it on the list. And then the last thing on the daily checklist is 10 minutes of mindfulness and meditation, which I actually just added this one today because I felt like I really needed something that focused on like the spiritual and the personal growth aspect of like leveling up. One thing I know I struggle with a lot is jealousy, and it's not even like people online, it's also people in my real life. I find it hard to be happy for other people. I get jealous like when other people's videos are doing well, or even though like they may not even have as many followers as I have, but I'm still jealous of them. So it's like I need to work on a positive energy. I just feel like that's something specific I want to work on, with a focus on like meditation, positive energy, being grateful for what I have, just getting rid of that negativity, because jealousy is such an ugly trait and characteristic, and it's like my worst one. But that's why I kind of put meditation / mindfulness, because I feel like for me that includes even just researching, like learning about how to deal with jealousy, like how to deal with imposter syndrome, like learning just how to be better as a person. 10 minutes of mindfulness could also be reading a self-help book. To me, that's what I mean by this too, like just 10 minutes of like learning and like bettering yourself. I think that I said that was the last thing, but the other thing that I want to make sure I do every day is journal. I have a bullet journal that I use. It's by Amanda Rach Lee. I love it. I track a lot of things in there, and then even on the weekly spreads, each day I write like a highlight of the day or something I'm grateful for or something good that happened. So that's another kind of like sub note onto this 10 minutes of like mindfulness, is taking time to journal, relax my mind, because it does help me a lot. It's a very creative outlet for me. Those are the things that I'm going to be focusing on, specifically the next 30 days. And I'm going to be taking you guys along with me in the next 4 weeks to document this, which I also just decided to do not that long ago. So I have to like plan and like prep some of that stuff. Some of my more like weekly vlog videos are going to be this challenge, at least for the next 4 weeks. I hope you guys enjoy this series because I'm really excited to share it with you guys, and I'm hoping that it does actually like really help motivate me and kickstart me into living my best life and feeling like the best version of myself. I'm gonna start the next vlog tomorrow, which for me is March 15th, and then it's gonna go all the way to April 13th. We're gonna start off tomorrow with some measurements, progress pictures, a weigh-in, all of that good stuff is gonna come tomorrow, and then take you guys through each day and check off all of these 30-day challenge requirements. I really hope that you guys enjoy this series. If you made it this far, comment down below a goal that you have for the next few months, and yeah, let's reach these goals together. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys soon in my next video.